Hey, my name is Dan Dutilli. I'm an Iraq War veteran and lived in Greensboro for about 10 years. I heard about Nexalin through a conference we had at work. We basically had someone come in and give us some information about this new technology that's supposed to be helping people with depression, anxiety, and sleep disorders and things like that. So that got my attention, being a veteran and dealing with some of the things that I've dealt with PTSD and some of the other stuff. I first started noticing differences even after the first couple sessions, literally the first day. That afternoon, I did a morning session. That afternoon, when I went to work, it just seemed like there was a new clarity to my way of thinking. I felt like I was more present and more in the moment. And it really got my attention. I was surprised because all of a sudden, something is different. And I've just been here for two 40-minute sessions. As our sessions continued, I started to really see a difference with the way that I was thinking, the way that I was feeling. I didn't have any of the unspoken feelings that something was wrong. For a long time, I dealt with these feelings that, man, something's not right, something bad is about to happen, or there's some kind of issue, or there's a threat, or there's danger. These things were just kind of like clouding my mind and distracting me. And after I started with Genesis Nexalin, after I started the Nexalin treatments, those issues just sort of faded away. I wasn't feeling fearful. I wasn't fearing this sense of dread or anxiety. And that really got my attention. I started to say, wow, this is really working. It's not just sitting in a chair for 40 minutes. There's something changing. There's something resetting about me. I feel new. Something feels new. And I described it to people when they started asking. I've actually had people say to me, there's something different about you now. What's different from the last time I saw you? And so I've had a chance to tell them, well, I've started this therapy treatment that's helping me really calm down and giving me peace again. I felt like for a long time I didn't have peace in my mind and in my heart. And so, peace is back. I can just reach out and grab some calmness and some joy. It feels like it's right there. And that's something that sense, that feeling that I have is completely new after I did this therapy treatment. So I know that it's not just a random thing that happened. I know it's directly related to me going and doing the Nexalin treatments. For a long time I struggled with anxiety. I didn't really tell many people about it, but even on my morning commute to work, 20 or 30 minutes driving to my office, I would literally be gripping the steering wheel, having my palms be sweaty, just worried that there was going to be a problem on the way to work, that I had to watch out for IEDs, I had to watch out for people attacking my vehicle. It seems irrational now. It's like, why would someone even really have that thought process? But at the time, it was really something that was a bother to me. It was like, man, there's something wrong. Something bad is about to happen. And it was something that I had to force myself not to think about those types of things and really press. It was exhausting. Really press those thoughts out of my mind. Take those thoughts captive. But after the Nexalin treatment, it's a very natural thing now to just kind of set aside when something like that starts to happen, or stresses in my life, stress through our week or whatever, you have stress. When I start to feel stressed for a situation, I can just kind of take a breath and say, you know what, let's stop for a second. Let me look at this from a sense of calmness and peace rather than from a sense of nervousness or anxiety. And so it's really, I jokingly told someone that the Nexalin therapy for me was anxiety cessation. How they talk about tobacco cessation. This is anxiety cessation. It's been removed from me, and I don't feel the same things. Now I don't think that I'll ever stop being a disabled veteran. As far as PTSD, I know the experience overseas changed me permanently, but I also know that I'm a new person inside, and that process is happening and was greatly helped by my Nexalin therapy treatment. One of the most interesting things that happened is a couple days after my last treatment and my first session of treatments with Nexalin, I had an unscheduled trip out to the Midwest. There was a death in the family. And usually unscheduled things in my life, things that were surprise or very abrupt, would automatically throw me into a feeling of alertness and hyper hyper alertness and almost anxiety and almost a panic type of thing. This was not that. This was more just a matter of fact, okay, I have to go out there, I have to, we have to support the family. During the course of that trip, I had a chance to, we were driving right by one of my old military installations that I was stationed at around the time of September 11th and when the war in Iraq first started. My brothers were traveling with me. We stopped and took a little mini tour of my old duty station, my old Army post. And I was just very surprised because we traveled all around the whole base. We looked at all of the places that I had, I used to serve there. I used to live. This was my old house. This is the motor pool where my tank was. This was my old unit headquarters, the infantry division. We went to war memorial monuments that had been set up, soldiers that had given their lives in the Iraq War, in Iraqi freedom. There were even several names that I recognized, guys that had not come back. That was a big deal for such a long time to me, is why did I even, how come I got to come home and the other guys didn't? There was a whole mental process there. So I gave my brothers the tour, and then we left and went, proceeded on with our trip, went to the hotel that night, and then I realized, I had just visited this place that I had spent so much of my time. I visited the monument to guys that I served in the same unit as me and didn't come home. I didn't have a single incident of anxiety. I didn't feel any type of panic or fear or dread. None of the things that had been just pounding my mind for such a long time were even present. It was just a happy memory of being somewhere and serving my country. There was nothing negative associated with that, and I didn't have this burden or this weight of fearfulness or anxiety. And so at that point I knew, okay, something permanently has changed in me because of this Nexalin therapy. And I'm trying to tell everybody I know, trying to share it with as many people as I can share it with, because I feel like if other veterans that are dealing with this silent fight, this exhausting battle that they have every day in their minds, if they can have some relief from that doesn't involve taking 9 or 10 medications or seeing a therapist every week, if they can do something that will have a permanent, lasting effect on their minds to help them and to free them the way that I feel like I've been freed, then I want them to do that. So I'm a big fan of